Howdy, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Unstoppable with lovely Victoria and Michael here.
Hi.
Excuse me.
So how's your weekend?
Um, it's great.
It's been a lazy one.
It's been a lazy one. Excuse me. I'm clogged up with all this pollen and crap.
This is a perfect time to do things inside the home.
I have been. I've been.
Sleeping, playing video games, and watching movies. That doesn't really constitute.
I've been spending time with my family.
Really?
hmm So what you haven't mentioned is I've cooked dinners.
Defrosted.
I've did the laundry.
Yes, thank you.
I've swept and mopped the house.
What have I done?
Made the child do the dishes.
What have I done?
What have you done? What you always do.
Which is,
Sit on your butt up here. What? Oh, you run a company. Of course you're going to sit down. What?
I don't work constantly, like
You
round the
work constantly,
clock.
but you sit on your butt and work.
Wow. Wow. So I want to talk to you about something.
There you go.
Put that down. So I really wanted to have this gentleman on with the two of us today, but we were unable to do so. We have somebody coming on this week, and I'm super excited because he's turned his whole life around. And my husband's making faces. And I'm just curious if you think that it's possible.
So, some folks are going to doubt it right off the bat.
Okay, why?
If you're going to preference this,
Okay,
they're going to doubt it.
preference it then.
No, you're prefacing the call that you're going to do here this week.
Well, the gentleman is a reformed sex addict and he helps others transition from a sex addict to a sense of normalcy. But I don't really like the term normalcy. I don't think it's applicable to really anyone anymore. But do you believe that you can be a sex addict and then go into a sense of recovery from it?
You can, but it takes a great deal of will on that person's part, effort, and something that he or she holds more value than the act or you know exercise of having sex with other people, a lot of other people in this case.
Okay, like what? What would be something that someone would hold more dear than the actual act of?
Such as the institute of a family, of actually having kids of his own or her own, and having a significant other who is faithfully and loyal to that individual, and that person can see it.
But what if this individual that's coming on was married while having multiple affairs?
And he didn't put the value towards his wife or kids if there are kids involved.
And
They
now he is faithful and he's helping
same
others.
wife.
Yes.
Okay, so at some point he realized, oh shit,
But you believe that can be done.
right. Here I was. I thought I had a rock this entire marriage. And it turns out that rock was a diamond. And he just didn't realize it. He was seeing all the shiny shit on the outside and what he could get easily. So
But don't those cravings return? I mean, as a man, just
they could, but remember I said you have to have a lot of will.
okay.
You have to discipline yourself. Okay.
How does one do that? Like for me, I have never cheated on a guy. So for me, I'm asking because I wouldn't even like let a man come up and hug me if I'm in a relationship because it's
Well,
just
I can't speak.
I'm extreme
I
and
can't
I
speak
get
for
it.
all men,
Oh, right. I get it. I just want a male perspective.
but this is me. I have a freaking light switch for everything,
Not everything, not absolutely everything.
almost everything. Okay. If I just don't want it, I don't. I flip that switch to off, and I don't want it anymore. Like beer, I quit drinking beer. I just flip the switch. Okay. I like me a beer, y'all. Um, I didn't do drugs back in the day, but yeah, you just have to have a lot of discipline and willpower. So and have something that's more of a prize than just whoring around. Yeah.
Can that light switch be forcefully flipped
No,
by like
No.
enticement?
no, that's part of the will.
So then what do you consider grounds of cheating? Like everybody's perception of cheating is different. Like what do you consider cheating?
Any type of fornication with another one outside of your spouse. I guess, I know this is getting deep, but if you're thinking about another person while you're having sexual relationships with
Sexual
your,
what?
with your current
Sexual
partner
what?
or spouse,
That okay. All right, you brought that up, so let me ask this. So what if you get turned on by watching pornography? Because he also helps people with porn addiction. I've never watched porn. I'm completely against it. Like I said, I'm extreme and I admit it. But the idea of watching someone or others doing something in a sexual manner does not do it, like the idea doesn't do anything for me. And to me, that's a version of cheating because something or something else
Yeah.
is turning me on other than my husband. So I've never watched it and I don't believe in it. Like I said, I'm extreme before anybody jumps my
no,
skillet.
I understand. You can, that could be considered a form of cheating because you're watching and thinking about the other people, what they're doing.
But it's like if going to a strip club, I'm 1,000,000% against it. And I get it, people do it.
Hooters is not a strip club. They got good wings.
And thighs and breasts. I get it. But no, listen, like seriously, like if you go into a strip club and you go in there with a pile of money and there's just take two women and two women are there and you have literally two women and one of them you find more attractive than the other, you are not going to give money to the unattractive person. So you're going to give your attention to the one that you find more desirable. They're going to turn you on however they choose to do it. And then you come home to your significant other and you're turned on and you begin fornicating over something that didn't begin with your spouse. So I'm very much against that. Like I said, I'll say it 1,000,000 times, I'm extreme. I don't believe in it, but nobody is like a lot of people aren't that way. Everybody is different. So do you consider that cheating?
Y'all see why I love this woman?
Why? Because I'm like extreme about that stuff.
Yes, you're freaking awesome.
Like I think going to a strip club is cheating on your spouse.
I've been to many strip clubs.
Yes, I know. And I'm being very
I was
polite
a
and
police officer.
respectful.
Called to those strip clubs.
And how much takeout did you take?
None. They're nasty.
Why?
Yeah. I saw a lot of bullet holes, stretch marks, coke infested.
A
Yeah.
lot of people will tell you they do it to pay for their education.
Whatever. I'm not for all that.
But
I
you
saw
have,
behind the scenes.
but you actually participated in the going to and
What?
sitting and watching.
Oh, that. Okay, yes, I've done that too.
But see, I've never done that. That's what I'm saying. Is that cheating?
I think the first wife was with me, maybe.
She was.
It's hard to recall.
Not for me. I got the memory. But
Okay.
I mean, if I said to you, hey, the girls want to go to a strip club, you would be like, I don't have to worry about it. You ain't going because I know you.
Correct.
But if the guys say to you, hey, they want to go to a strip club, what would you say?
No. No.
Okay,
no,
let's
sir.
say you guys go out for beer and pizza or whatever, and then they decide that
I
they're
would not
going.
do it.
Then they decide that they're gonna take a little around the mulberry bush, no pun intended, and go check out some.
Those days are gone. And plus, like I said, after being a cop, I saw what goes on behind scenes. And
What goes on behind
it's
scenes?
really
Because a lot of
nasty.
people don't know.
Well, I don't want to say this. It's nasty because there might be some legitimate entrepreneurs out there, and working for the feed their family, with dollar bills, whatever. So I'm sure we don't have any in this group, this community, but it was nasty what I saw back. They get back there and they're nasty. They coke up and because they have to keep on dancing and whatever, and they're nasty. They go in those private rooms and they do their thing, and then they come out and try to freshen up, and it's nasty. Ugh. Yeah.
So going in and like lap dancing on one or, you know, finishing the job on another and then going and getting another one and finishing the job on another one after, that's nasty.
Yes, that's nasty. That's nasty. Now, I didn't think that back in the day
Why?
because I was young and dumb. Back in the day, I got a lap dance from, you know, like you said, the women that I chose were attractive to me. So, yeah, I've been there, done that. But once you get all that piss and vinegar out of your system, you have to grow up, and you have to, rearrange your priorities. And hopefully, if this guy is legit, then that's what he's done.
He seems very much legit. I've
He's
done a lot of research on him and I'm very much looking forward to it. Speaking with him as to how can you reform yourself from that.
He can, and I'm glad he's trying to reach out to others, because that's an area that probably nobody does.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
you don't hear it. I don't hear of an AA sex group, whatever.
Sex Anonymous or sex
I don't know. That's not my
addiction.
niche, so I don't know.
Then how does someone go from a cheating husband to a good husband?
I already told you.
Right, but
If
not
they
everybody has a
value
light
in
switch.
something or someone much more than what you're currently, obtaining. So, if I'm freaking working at Pizza Hut, trademark, and that's all I eat is pizza, and then Subway comes along and says, "Hey, man, this Subway sandwich is a lot better. Won't you try it?" And I try it, you're not getting it.
I'm looking for the metaphor of whether you're going to have something greasy that clogs up stuff or you're going to go healthy for something that takes care of you.
Yes.
Is this the metaphor?
Yes.
Okay.
So all the trash, and then something better comes along.
What if something better comes from something other than Subway?
No, then
You weren't expecting that. Yeah. What if something comes better from Subway, like Whole Foods or Trader Joe's? Or
I'm too old for that shit.
no. So at some point you just decide to settle?
I'm not telling everybody how old I'm going to be.
Your birthday's in a few weeks. So are you telling everybody that you would just settle?
No. You put your value. You put your.
What are your values?
Right. I'm looking at her. Damn it.
No, but everybody else wants to know. Everybody loves our banter. Oh.
This is
Oh.
about someone else, not about me.
I want a male's perspective of it, and that's why I'm asking you. Like, what are your values as a husband and father? What are your values?
I want a clean woman. I don't want to come home thinking that, I've been out working 12, 16 hours a day and my wife's been hoeing around on me, or, going down to Dave's house, or, just, I don't
We're playing on the computer with the
oh yeah,
camera and the mouse and
virtual cheating, whatever. It's nice to come home whether or not you have a wife who cleans a house or not. That's not the main thing. To have a clean wife is far better than have a clean house. Now I come home to a clean house. I come home to a clean wife. I come home and most times I get a hug right at the door. They meet me outside when I'm getting out of my vehicle, and that's a very wholesome, nice feeling. Hey, Dad. Hey, husband. I missed you. I'm coming out to greet you. It's very heartwarming. I tell you times before I've told you, when I get home with,
you used to dread. I could hear it in your tone. And we were only friends. We were friends only during that period.
Open the door to that place I lived at, and
I wouldn't say lived.
And I just knew a fight was coming on, and it's disheartening. You don't want to stay married in situations like that. So what do? You go look everywhere else. Where are you going to find happiness? But my heart's happy with you, our kids, our dogs.
I tried to tell you this a quarter of a century ago.
I've got a hard head.
You think?
Most men do.
No.
Hard way. Let's go a little hard now.
So how do you keep your wife happy?
Oh, that's a big one. Cover the microphone.
No, how do you, like as a man, what do you say to other men in order to
Guys, you don't cheat. Get rid of your damn BlackBerry, your little black
Your-
book, whatever.
or your Palm
Yeah,
Pilot,
get rid of your paper.
your
Okay?
pager. That's
Get rid of that
hilarious.
shit. Guys, you don't need the hassle. You don't need the hassle of trying to keep up with the lies. So, this guy's going to talk about the lies tomorrow, and I can attest, it is a pain in the ass to tell one woman something and try to remember. Oh shit, I told the current wife something else. Oh, and I told Debbie something, and then oh man, I got to meet Marissa on the same day. It's frustrating to no end to keep up with the freaking lies.
See, I didn't mention any of this today about your past history with him. I didn't
Because
even do it.
if you cheat on your wife with one woman, you're going to cheat with two women. You're going to cheat on those two girlfriends with a third and a fourth woman, or man. It goes both ways.
And what do you say about the saying a leopard never changes his spots?
They can, they absolutely can. I've proven it.
You have proven it.
Mhm.
You have. So how do you keep a happy home? What's the secret for a happy home? Like I've made it very clear. I don't want diamonds. I don't want jewelry or whatever. It's I'm going to be very careful because I know where you're going to go with this. It's the small things that I love. Be quiet. That I love. Like he writes me posty notes. And I've had so many women say, "Oh my God, I'm gonna make my husband listen to this because I want posty notes." And I still have them. I mean, I have the pen that he used 25 years ago because I'm very sappy and sentimental. So, what suggestions do you have that make the difference in a house and a home?
Guys, in our family, we sit down at our dinner table and we talk. We don't play games. We don't get on the phone. We look each other in the eye. I'm constantly looking at my wife. I'm constantly staring at her. And she's always, what are you looking at? What? And then I tell her, you're beautiful. You're gorgeous. And, of course I get the whatever, because she don't think she's beautiful. But y'all see those pictures on that one picture on Facebook she just posted? Oh my gosh, she's gorgeous, y'all. Those freaking eyes.
Yeah, your dad even said my eyes were
And
adorable.
that's a little gross. Dad, if you're listening to this is my woman. Um, have fun in your family, laugh,
I love
share
that.
things.
I love that you guys have movie night. I love that. And it's just so sweet that you guys do this consistently because it's memories that will be kept
We
forever.
we started this because y'all told me that piece of shit biological father of yours, can I say that on there? Oh, I just did. Would claim to want to watch a movie with
With
his
Faith, yeah.
granddaughter, and then
It'd either have to be on his time or it'd have to be his choice of movies.
Yeah.
Like if she
Yeah.
wanted, I mean, remember, she's little and she's very young. And he would say, "No, I'm not watching a cartoon. I'm not watching this. I'm not watching that."
more importantly, this was the only
Absolute
male
only male
figure
animal. Yeah.
in her life. And this is the way you're going to treat your only grandchild?
That he claimed.
Right. And so, no. So I'm going to do the exact opposite of what he did. And
And you love it.
for
Years
3 years
now.
now,
Yeah.
over 3 years,
Yeah. And you love it.
every
Come on
week,
now.
Saturday, we do daddy daughter movie night.
And you love it. Say it.
We
Say
love it.
yes.
We love it.
But yeah, or he would say, "Okay, we're gonna watch it," and then after dinner, Faith would be like, "Oh, are we gonna watch a movie?" And he'd be like, "Not tonight. I'll do it tomorrow. I promise." And tomorrow would never come, and it would break her heart. And like tradition is so important to have those memories and to do those things because that's what's so important to be able to say, okay, like you're having a bad day, you're having your time at whatever, and you say, "You know what? The weekend's here. I'm gonna go have time with my dad and I'm gonna watch a movie." And you know what? None of that other crap matters. What are you doing?
I was just trying to scratch my back and I need a back scratcher.
So instead of podcasting right now, you're picking up your phone, which is what we do not do at the table.
We're not at the table.
I have.
Look at that back scratcher. That was awesome.
Are you kidding me? So what else do you do to make it not a house but a home?
Let's see. What do I do? Well,
Like how do you treat your wife?
You tell me how to
No,
treat
no,
my
no,
wife.
no. I want a male's perspective. I do this all the time, but I want a male's perspective. How?
I treat my wife like I'm just the behind the scenes guy. She's the center stage singer out there. You know, I'll take care of everything in the background. You just get out there and you just sing your little heart away. Okay, that's how I treat you. Um, I'll do the dishes. I'll do the mopping. You know, I'll do the trash. I don't like doing podcasts because I don't have a lot of things to say. You
That's
know,
not true.
you're
You
the
have
genius here.
so much to
Okay,
say.
I lift you up every time I talk about you to other people. Okay, I tell them I'm proud of my wife with 3 doctorates.
Whatever.
She's got one arm, but damn it, she works 25 hours a day running our company, and she does awesome because she's probably on her 28th book by now. How many books are you on?
I don't know.
You're over 24,
Possibly.
possibly. Y'all hear that? One arm bandit here, 24 books, and she types them out so damn fast. I know she used to be what 90 words a minute.
90 to 105, depending.
So you
Yeah.
think you're just under half of that?
Oh no, I took a typing test one-handed. I'm about 62.
One-handed.
Uh-huh.
Unbelievable.
But lately I've been doing course writing
So,
and
yeah.
things of that nature to help people, use their voice to make a platform for what they believe in and help them further their dreams.
Good, and that's gonna be published soon?
Yes, we will give
Not
out
that
that
I'm rushing you, I
details.
know you're busy,
Yeah.
but y'all, if y'all haven't been on the website, she's added a bunch of stuff,
Yeah, but it's a different website.
and then she's added another website.
Yeah, talk about that website. I asked my husband to come sit and look. You have to understand, when my husband,
Oh, Lord.
when I ask him to look over something, he takes his pen and he does this. I gotta find a pen because I don't have a sound machine, but I've got to be able to produce this. Hold on. Like he does this.
It's clicky sound.
Right, constantly. And I'm across the room, even though I'm deaf, and now he knows why I don't wear my hearing aids often. And this is what he's doing. And then he'll put the pen down, and just to fuck with me, he picks it back up and clicks it. And I'm like, are you kidding? I'm like, do you know how long this took? And he looks over stuff. So I was like, all right, babe, I did something I want you to look at. Can you come and look at it? Yada, yada, yada. So I show him this whole new site I've put together. And I am holding bated breath because I am like, oh my God, he has no idea. Because I told him when I started this that you needed literally like a doctorate in Chinese or something in order to understand how to make this work. So all right, now you come sit down beside me and I show you the new website and your thoughts were.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Thank you.
Phenomenon. Phenomenon.
Oh, don't do that. That song sticks in my head forever.
Phenomenon. Um, it to me, it looks like there were at least 8 to 12 people in an office creating this website and putting everything together from pictures to words to everything. It is just absolutely incredible. And to realize, guys, my wife is one-handed sitting here doing this shit. And it blows me away. It's amazing, you know. But my wife has set high standards and I really don't expect nothing less. Nothing less but excellence from my wife. You know, she's absolutely amazing, incredibly intelligent. You know,
I know people who would tell you I'm not.
I'm not thinking about those people, and that's why I'm publicly saying this. I don't know where your IQ is, but it's probably borderline genius.
I don't agree.
I do. Why don't we take a test? Audience, let's get Victoria to take an IQ test.
And what do you think about when I'm told that like I'm dumb and worthless and not
No,
competent enough to do anything?
it's water under the bridge. Brush it off. Those folks don't matter in our lives.
I understand that, but when
And
you've
how
grown
many,
up in that mentality and you've had that, and that's what you're used to,
did you say mentality?
yes, if that's what you've grown up
It's
with,
not mentality.
that's what you're accustomed to, then, nothing you do is ever good enough.
Okay, it's the same for these children who watch mom and dad abuse each other and then grow up thinking it's okay.
Right, because they don't break the cycle.
Right.
The cycle has to be
that sounds like
broken,
a course of yours.
which I'm starting, and I've almost finished. I've already written it. It's been written. But now I'm transcribing it into like either a downloadable book or a course, depending on how it wants to be taken, about the long-term effects that the trauma causes on the children when they see and witness domestic violence. And you have to stop the cycle. You are strong enough to stop the cycle. People don't realize that they are strong enough to stop the cycle. They think they're weak. They are not weak. The one who is weak is the one who is hitting because they're a coward. That is a coward because you take your aggression and your pain out on someone else. And it's like what normally happens is the person who is aggressive normally takes it out on the person that they're closest to, and it's behind closed doors. So outside might be that pretty little, you know, home to the naked eye, but when you go inside, it's not a home, it's a house. It's a dark, creepy, cold, lifeless, loveless house. And when that person or monster comes in and puts his or her hands on another individual, that is nothing shy of a coward, because it won't be long before that person puts it where the kids are now being physically assaulted, the pets are being assaulted. And I say this, and I've said this numerous times. If let's take a man and a woman scenario because it's just easier to explain. Let's just say hypothetically there's a man and he's beating up his wife, and the kids see it. You have a son and a daughter. As a parent, do you want your daughter to see that that is how a man is supposed to treat his partner?
Absolutely not.
Do you want your daughter to see how a person who is engaged in an intimate relationship should be treating a female? So when that daughter starts dating, that's who she's going to tend to, is because her dad is supposed to be that role model
Right.
that tends to show her, how she's supposed to be treated. Now, let's take the son. The son grows up thinking that women are to be put in their place. They're to be, put in their place, whether it's verbally or physically, and that's the appropriate behavior because that's what the child is seeing emulated by their parent. And if the person right now, because we're doing a hypothetical, if the mom, the wife, the woman is watching this happen and she is not getting out of that situation, she might not think she's worth fighting for, but she needs to think about those kids. Those kids are worth fighting for. Break the cycle, teach them right from wrong. Let them see that that is absolutely not how you treat a woman. That is not how you treat, an individual. And as a man, it is absolutely not how you treat someone you go out on a date with. I have to brag about my husband for a second. He still opens the car door for me. He opens the car door for Faith. She'll stand there and say, and wait for him to open the door. He does these things and he has taught her what is and is not respectable behavior. And that is something that role is supposed to emulate for our daughters. Whether it's a female, female, male, male, it's still the adult's responsibility, whether your gender is what, to teach our kids the appropriate way to act and the appropriate way to teach others. And if you grew up in an environment that wasn't okay, it sucks, yes. And I hear all the time, well, he was beaten up when he was a kid, or he went through an abusive childhood, or something like that. So that makes it okay that he hit me. And, he says he'll never do it again. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Am I right or wrong? Because you can stop the cycle. My husband and I both have the right to have like a full breakdown, and we haven't. And we've stopped the cycle. And it's just not anything more than an excuse.
So that goes back to stopping the cycle. Can you stop the cycle while you're in it?
You can do things to protect your family and your home better. You need a strategic safety getaway plan. You have to. If you don't have one, you'll end up going back. The average woman goes back 7 times, and you need to have it in place. Now, in all fairness, I've been asked numerous times. I've never gone into detail about how I got out. It was something. It's in the book, Who Kicked First. I had to be very, very tedious on how I got out and survived. I knew that it was only going to be a one-time thing that I would be able to do. And I had to gather as much evidence as I could. And I did. I mean, he followed me to my office.
So can breaking this cycle, should it start as soon as whatever abuse is starting? I mean, that first hit, that first slap,
If it happens once, it will happen again.
right. The first time it happens, put a stop to it, whatever. Maybe an ultimatum. Hey, you ever do this again? I'm leaving.
No, first thing like idiot said, he would have never hit me if I wasn't pregnant. And the first hit would have been it. And I would have contacted the police so there's paper trail, and it would have been over, because you have the right to defend yourself and your children. And that's your right to do. So you gather as much evidence as you possibly can and get proof, because what I think sucks about our society is, and you know this from being a cop, for the longest time, women or victims of the abuse end up feeling like they're never going to become a survivor, because we are the ones that have to prove we were abused. The perpetrator, the abuser, literally sits in the seat. Whatever happened, to interrogating him or getting down to it, it's all like, well, what did you do to make him mad? Why couldn't you have just kept him happy? Maybe you instigated it. And these are the things you would hear tenfold. But we are being violated all over again when we're in that seat and we're constantly being asked, well, why did he hit you? What did you do? Did you not do this? Did you not do that? Why aren't you interrogating him? Why is he sitting there with a smile on his face while we're getting assaulted all over again because we're being put through the ringer? I think one of the best examples was, I have medical documentation that coincides with all the photographs that were taken, and I was strangled. And in the pictures, and my husband has seen these pictures. In the pictures, you can clearly see handprints. And how do you explain it? The handprints are around the sides of my neck, and over my throat are his thumbprints. And I would say safely that it was pretty clear you could see the hands. Well, I was accused that no, this way. You can't. I was accused that I tried to suffocate and strangle myself, because why would he have done that to me? Well, we ended up, I can't remember who it was that did it. Somebody came out and said, okay, look how little her thumbs are in comparison to his. And now look at the bruising on her neck from the thumbs, and you can see that those are not hers. And not only that, but there's no way physically possible that you can strangle yourself. There's not, because not in the way that it happened to me, because the thumbs were on my throat, and the hands were around my neck. And you can clearly see even the longness of the hand. It's a man's hand. I mean, Helen Keller could have seen that. But I was the one that was accused of self-harming. Or, for instance, an even more interesting one is, I was stabbed multiple times, and I have a huge stab scar down my back, and I was accused of giving it to myself. How can you stab yourself in the back? I mean, seriously, as a cop, how do you stab yourself in the back?
There were a lot of idiots that you dealt with
Mm-hmm.
On his side. Just
Well,
maybe even some of the investigators, but we understand there was a lot of cover up involved, but
the military protects their own. And, I'm not going to go into branch or anything like that, but the military covered up. He broke my nose on the installation in front of his command, and they did nothing. They turned the other cheek, if you will. I learned the term, which I didn't know. I don't know if you knew this because you were in the military too, but I asked a higher ranking person, what would happen if I came to you and told you I was being assaulted? And I had these huge sunglasses on because I was covering a black eye, and I think it's safe to say that I'm sunlit tan. I'm pretty white. I'm like Snow White white. And
You're a redhead.
well, right. So I pulled my glasses up and I had big old shiners, and you can tell my nose was still enlarged. And I was told by that individual, we have a term called grabbing real estate. And I'd never heard that before, where they hit the ground, they get taken to the pavement for their actions. I never heard that before. Have you ever heard that term?
No.
So that's what I was told, and nothing came out of it. Like, it didn't matter how much I showed them, I was always accused of being the aggressor, even though there was never marks on him. But that didn't matter. I mean, it didn't matter. And so that's why, a lot of times women who've gone through this, the only thing we have in our corner is our word, because everything else can be replaced. Materialistically, cars, all that crap, that could all be replaced. You cannot. You cannot be replaced. And they will make you think, well, maybe if I did just do this, it wouldn't have happened again. Maybe if I did that, it wouldn't have happened again. Maybe if I go a step above. Well, let me tell you what happens when you go a step above. I went a step above, and back in the day, I'm showing my age, I burned a CD. I'm really showing my age. And I put it in Idiot's vehicle, and he was going out with his girlfriend, which, by the way, yes, I okayed. Why? Nobody understands this. Why did I okay him to have other women? Because he would be in a courting period with them where he's being charismatic and charming. And B, more importantly, no offense to any other woman, I'm protecting myself and my unborn child. He wasn't home beating me. So I absolutely okayed him to go out and have affairs. 1000%. But he came in the middle of the night and climbed over and woke me up, quote unquote, dragged me out in my pajamas, no shoes, no nothing, and took me onto a 2-lane highway and literally slapped me so hard I went straight into the side of the vehicle and left me on the side of the road because I touched his vehicle by putting a CD in and removing one of his. And that is what happened from trying to go a step forward. That's what happens. So you have to be methodical, to say the least, to get out and survive. And it can be done. And you're not alone. And even though you feel like you're alone, you are not. You are absolutely not alone. And you are so much stronger than you know. Like, for the longest time, I would look at all my scars and I thought I was hideous, like absolutely hideous, because I was just scars everywhere. We ended up having to find out there was like 70 something percent of my body had scars. Whatever. He has cataracts. So we had to figure out that there was like 70% of me scarred up between the surgeries and all that he did. And I just literally was like, I can't let this put me into a depression because he doesn't deserve that. So then I started looking at it and I was like, that's how many times he tried and he failed. He is not that strong, and I'm not giving him that power. So I look at it and think, this is how many times this grown ass monster, because he's definitely not a man, tried and failed. And then you just kind of want to look and laugh, like, that's the best you've got? Seriously? Because it's like training a boxer. You're training them to withhold a punch. You're training them to maintain composure during a fight. And that's exactly, because if I cried, I got hit again. If I screamed, I would get whipped again with a belt handle. If, whatever the case may be. So I literally would stand there and he would dislocate my jaw and I would stand there. Now he would always leave. Why'd you make me do this? Why did you make me have to do this? You think I wanted to do this to you? And then he'd always leave. And then I could scream and, whatever. But that's exactly what it's like. And it's crazy that the numbers are increasing. We need to get this to stop. We need to do whatever we can to help get domestic violence to end.
So Victoria has let y'all in on some of the details of her book. Uh, you can find it on Amazon. It's called Who Kicked First. Um, she also has it where you can get it through our website. And yeah, y'all want to know more about that interesting story, which is to me is a horror story, you're welcome to pick up her book and find out more. I didn't think I was going to plug it, but you went right into it.
Well, I mean, it's just because so many people go through this and they feel so alone. And then they're like, maybe I'm the only one going through this. Maybe I'm the only one who made him angry. And no, because you become isolated. You get taken away from your friends. You get taken away from anybody that you have anything to do with. I mean, he would get followed to my office. Luckily, I had to park underneath, which was assigned, parking, and you had to have a card to get in. And you go through and you look at all this, but then I'd have 15 minutes to get to my office to call and show on the caller ID that's where I was. So his cell phone would show that I'm actually there. And if he called and I was in a meeting and my assistant answered the phone, hell would break loose. I mean, he would sporadically just show up at the office, which I don't understand how he could do it, but he did. And this is what he did. And if his pictures were not where they're supposed to be in my office, hell would break loose. Like if I didn't wear his dog tags, hell would break loose. But you know what? Those dog tags will freaking choke the shit out of you and they hurt. And now, to this day, I don't wear necklaces. And that's a reason why. But my husband's the only one who can touch my throat. And he's always been the only one who can touch my throat. But our sweet babies are knocking on the door. But it is something you'll never be able to forget everything you've been through, but you most certainly can live your life and you can be happy and have a great relationship and live life and be happy. And what are you looking at me like that?
You're hot.
Whatever. I told you if he has cataracts.
So to wrap this up,
He doesn't like this topic.
we'll speak about men in general. Men have to place their priorities differently and value something other than the sex, the pornography that they're addicted to.
Do you believe that has anything to do with moving into violence?
Sure, because you have no respect for your spouse, so you're going to treat these other women like a piece of shit because they don't matter, or you're going to treat your spouse like a piece of shit because she doesn't matter. That's why you have multiple women on the side. So,
but you were never violent physically.
You have to value your loved one.
Right. But it doesn't always turn that way, right? Because you were never violent.
No, I was not.
Ever. You just he's laughing because being one-handed, one thing I do have a problem with is I always crack my screen on my phone. So we go through cases or screen protectors. He's gonna say something. You haven't changed it this week.
This week. I changed it 2 days later. You cracked it in three different places.
There's 4, but it's not my fault. It's a big, thick phone, and I have little hands. See, I can't help it.
All right, y'all. Thank you for listening. Please check out the website and Victoria will have the other one up here finished soon, I think. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
And also grab her book, Who Kicked First?
Grab which book?
Well, there's many, but that's one we talked about tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all listen out for that fella coming on later this week. I won't be here, but him and I probably could have swapped some stories. I could definitely relate. I don't condone it, but I could relate. So y'all listen out for her future podcasts. Thank y'all for listening. That's it for me.
Thank you.
Bye, y'all.